Love may captivate the world, but even Hollywood's most dazzling couples aren't spared from fate's cruel turns. From romances cut short too soon to heartbreaks unfolding under the relentless spotlight, these stories of passion, loss, and resilience remind us that behind the glamour are real hearts that ache and endure. Let's revisit the most heartbreaking celebrity love stories that still haunt us today. Steve Irwin and Terry Irwin's love story is as adventurous as their shared passion for wildlife. Steve was immediately captivated by Terry, describing her as just beautiful. However, his thoughts were quickly interrupted by a crocodile attack, reminding him to focus. Despite the chaos, he couldn't help but notice Terry's calm presence. Their connection deepened through discussions about critical wildlife issues, paving the way for a remarkable partnership both on screen and in life. Steve became a global icon in the 1990s with The Crocodile Hunter, his infectious enthusiasm making wildlife conservation a household topic. Terry stood beside him, sharing his mission and amplifying his reach. Tragically, in 2006, Steve's life ended at 44 due to a stingray injury. Though devastating, his legacy continues through their children, Bindi and Robert, who proudly carry on their parents' work. Terry has often reflected on her love for Steve, saying she may never remarry because she already had her happily ever after. Lightheartedly, she remarked, "I'd love that you're a librarian, and the Dewey Decimal System is cool, but I've got to go jump on a crocodile." Their story remains a powerful reminder of love, legacy, and a shared dedication to protecting the natural world. Patton Oswalt and Michelle McNamara were a remarkable couple, each excelling in their respective fields. Married in 2005, Michelle, a celebrated true crime author, dedicated her life to investigating complex cases. Her most significant project was I'll Be Gone in the Dark, a book that delved into the history of an individual responsible for a series of crimes in California during the 1970s and 1980s. Her work not only shed light on these events, but also contributed to advancing criminal investigation methods. Tragically, Michelle passed away unexpectedly in 2016 before she could complete her book. Determined to honor her legacy, Patton took on the challenging yet meaningful task of finishing and publishing the manuscript. He described the experience as both emotionally taxing and fulfilling, a way to ensure Michelle's contributions were recognized. The book received critical acclaim and reignited public interest in unresolved cases. Patton often reflects on Michelle's brilliance and unique perspective, describing her as a constant source of inspiration. "She always thought in ways I could never predict," he shared. Their story is not just about love and loss, but also about preserving and celebrating the legacy of an extraordinary individual. Paul McCartney and Linda McCartney shared a love story that intertwined their personal and professional lives in a remarkable way. The two met when Paul was still a member of the Beatles, and Linda, a talented photographer, was capturing the world of famous musicians. Reflecting on their first encounter, Linda once mentioned her desire to photograph the Beatles and Stevie Winwood, leading to their serendipitous meeting at a London club. Their connection blossomed, and the couple married in 1969. After the Beatles disbanded, Paul and Linda formed their own musical legacy with the band Wings, producing iconic hits that showcase their creative synergy. Beyond music, they were devoted advocates for animal rights, creating a beautiful family while championing causes close to their hearts. Their partnership was a testament to shared passions and a deep commitment to living meaningfully together. Tragically, Linda's life was cut short after a battle with breast cancer, diagnosed in 1995. She passed away 3 years later, at the age of 56. Despite her loss, Linda's words remain a powerful reminder of her vibrant spirit. "Shadow or no shadow, I love life, and I'll just have a good time." Grace Kelly and Prince Rainier III of Monaco lived a romance that seemed straight out of a fairy tale. Grace, with her regal poise and timeless elegance, was the perfect Hollywood actress to become a princess. Their story captivated the world, culminating in a lavish wedding in 1956 that became a global spectacle. Leaving her acting career behind, Grace fully embraced her role as Princess of Monaco, dedicating herself to royal duties. Reflecting on her life, she expressed a desire to be remembered for her kindness and dedication to her responsibilities. Tragically, their fairy tale came to an abrupt end in 1982 when Grace suffered a cerebral hemorrhage while driving. Although she and her daughter Stephanie survived the initial accident, Grace's condition worsened at the hospital, where she succumbed to a second hemorrhage. Her untimely death at 52 was a devastating blow to Prince Rainier, who never remarried, carrying the weight of her loss for the rest of his life. When Rainier passed away in 2005, he was laid to rest beside Grace, a testament to their enduring bond. Friends and observers noted that her death profoundly affected him, leaving him a changed man. If you want to explore the journey with me, please leave number 1 and watch this video until the end. Interesting things are waiting for you in the video. Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton shared a love story as fiery and dramatic as the lives they led. After 2 divorces, Taylor's third husband, Mike Todd, tragically died in a plane crash, leaving her heartbroken. Yet it was her tumultuous relationship with Burton that left an indelible mark on her romantic history. Married in 1964, their union was passionate, chaotic, and unforgettable. Taylor once described their explosive arguments as one of the greatest exercises in marital togetherness, capturing the intensity of their connection. Their love was so overwhelming that it ultimately consumed them. After a decade together, they divorced in 1974, only to remarry a year later in 1975. Yet their second chance was short-lived, as they divorced again in 1976. Burton later reflected on their love, admitting, "We loved each other almost too much," highlighting the abnormal intensity that defined their relationship. Despite the turmoil, they were as captivating off-screen as they were in their iconic film collaborations. Taylor married twice more after Burton, but their bond lingered long after his death in 1984. Their former homes in Puerto Vallarta, connected by a bridge now known as the Lover's Arch, remain a testament to their legendary love. Tourists still visit to honor a relationship that, despite its volatility, epitomized passion and devotion. Selena Quintanilla Perez and Chris Perez shared a love story that defied obstacles but ended in heartbreak. Selena, a rising star poised for worldwide fame, was tragically murdered at just 23 years old by her friend and business partner Yolanda Saldivar. She left behind a grieving husband, Chris Perez, the guitarist for her band, Selena y los Dinos. Their relationship faced significant challenges, including Selena's father's disapproval, which led to heated confrontations and strained family dynamics. Determined to be together, Selena and Chris eloped, causing a temporary estrangement from her family. However, by the time of her untimely death, tensions had eased, and Selena was on the verge of releasing her English crossover album, which would have cemented her as a global icon. Their love story, filled with passion and resilience, became a cornerstone of her legacy. Selena and Chris's relationship has since been immortalized in films, books, and television, keeping her memory alive for generations of fans. Chris has often reflected on their bond, saying, "I know why they all love you so much, because I love you too." What's better than starting the day with a delicious cup of tea and watching this fascinating video together? Keanu Reeves and Jennifer Syme shared a love story marked by profound tragedy. Keanu, known for his kind and reserved demeanor, has faced significant personal losses throughout his life. Jennifer, an assistant in the entertainment industry who worked closely with director David Lynch, was Keanu's partner for 2 years. Their relationship endured heartbreak when their daughter was stillborn, a devastating event that caused them to separate. Despite their grief, they later reconciled, offering hope for a renewed connection. Tragically, their time together was cut short. In 2001, Jennifer died in a car accident, leaving Keanu to grapple with another monumental loss. The tragedy profoundly impacted his life, shaping his perspective and emotional resilience. Keanu once reflected on moving forward despite the pain, seeking to live a life worthy of love and hope. Their story, though deeply sorrowful, speaks to the enduring impact of love and loss. It remains a poignant chapter in Keanu's life, highlighting his strength and capacity for compassion amid unimaginable challenges. Spencer Tracy and Katharine Hepburn shared a love story that captivated Hollywood for over 2 decades, despite its secrecy. The two iconic actors, frequent co-stars, kept their relationship private due to complex circumstances. Tracy, a devout Catholic, refused to divorce his estranged wife, and the old Hollywood press largely respected their discretion. As Hepburn later reflected, "They let us alone because we made a great deal of effort not to parade ourselves around." Their bond was as profound as it was private. In his later years, Hepburn became Tracy's caregiver, staying by his side until his death in 1967. Despite her devotion, she chose not to attend his funeral out of respect for his family and his legal marriage. Her love for him, however, was unmistakable. When asked if anyone had ever captivated her the way Tracy did, she replied simply, "No." Their relationship, though unconventional, remains one of Hollywood's most legendary romances. It was a story of passion, loyalty, and deep connection, transcending the barriers of societal expectations and time. Brittany Murphy and Simon Monjack's untimely deaths have long intrigued and unsettled the public. Murphy, a vibrant actress known for her roles in films like Clueless and 8 Mile, passed away at 32 in December 2009. Her death was attributed to pneumonia, severe iron deficiency anemia, and multiple drug intoxication. Monjack, a British screenwriter, died just 5 months later in May 2010. His cause of death mirrored Murphy's: acute pneumonia and severe anemia. The similarity in their causes of death fueled widespread speculation and numerous conspiracy theories, ranging from potential toxic mold in their home to more sinister explanations. However, the Los Angeles County Department of Health found no indicators that mold was a factor. In 2021, a documentary titled "What Happened, Brittany Murphy" revisited these events but offered little new insight, leaving many questions unanswered. The tragic and sudden nature of their deaths continues to be a poignant chapter in Hollywood's history, marked by ongoing curiosity and sorrow. Laurence Olivier and Vivien Leigh shared a passionate yet tumultuous love story that spanned decades. The 2-time Oscar-winning actress met Olivier on the set of Fire Over England, and their undeniable chemistry quickly blossomed into an intense romance. Their relationship, however, was fraught with challenges, including Leigh's struggles with bipolar disorder and Olivier's infidelities. These issues created emotional turmoil for both, with Olivier once recounting the exhaustion of being abruptly awakened by Leigh's erratic behavior. Despite their deep connection, their marriage began to crumble, and they officially divorced in 1960, though many believed their union had ended emotionally long before. Leigh's declining health and personal struggles overshadowed her later years, and in 1967 she passed away from tuberculosis. By then, both had moved on to new partners, but Olivier's love for Leigh endured. Upon hearing of her death, Olivier was reportedly inconsolable. He spent 6 hours by her side, overwhelmed with grief and memories of their life together. Their story remains a poignant example of love, loss, and the enduring impact of a profound connection, even amid life's greatest challenges. Marilyn Monroe and Joe DiMaggio's love story was as captivating as it was complicated. In the early 1950s, the world watched in awe as Hollywood's biggest star and baseball's greatest icon fell in love after a blind date. Monroe later reflected on their connection, saying, "He understood some things about me, and I understood some things about him." Their whirlwind romance led to a marriage that seemed like a Hollywood dream. However, their relationship was far from perfect. DiMaggio's jealousy over Monroe's fame and image as a cinematic sex symbol led to tensions, including reported instances of controlling behavior. One of their most infamous conflicts occurred over Monroe's iconic scene in The 7-Year Itch, where her dress was blown up by a subway grate. Despite their divorce just 9 months after marrying, DiMaggio's devotion to Monroe never wavered. When Monroe tragically died in 1962, it was DiMaggio who claimed her body and organized her funeral. For 20 years, he famously sent roses to her grave as a symbol of his enduring love. In his final moments, as recounted by a close friend, DiMaggio's last words were reportedly about Monroe, cementing their bond as one of Hollywood's most bittersweet romances. Heath Ledger and Michelle Williams's love story began on the set of Brokeback Mountain, where they played a married couple. Their on-screen chemistry mirrored real life, as the two quickly fell in love. Reflecting on their time together, Williams admitted, "We both understood something. We fell in love on that movie." The couple moved in together and welcomed their daughter, Matilda, in 2005, forming a loving family. However, by late 2007, their relationship ended, and shortly after, Ledger tragically passed away in early 2008. Ledger's sudden death left a profound impact on Williams, who struggled to make sense of the loss. In interviews, she expressed how she found meaning in the strengthened relationships and friendships that followed, but admitted there was no way to rationalize such a tragedy. The media frenzy surrounding Ledger's death and the speculation about its causes brought unwanted attention to the private lives of both actors, something they had always been careful to protect. Despite their separation, Williams' reflections on Ledger highlight the deep bond they shared. Pierce Brosnan and Cassandra Harris shared a love story marked by devotion and heartbreaking loss. Before Brosnan became synonymous with James Bond in the 1990s, Harris herself appeared in the Bond franchise, playing a glamorous countess in For Your Eyes Only alongside Roger Moore in 1981. Their romance was a strong and supportive partnership that flourished both on and off screen. Together, they had one son, and Brosnan later adopted Harris's 2 children from her previous marriage, solidifying their blended family. Tragically, Harris passed away in 1991 at just 43 years old after a battle with ovarian cancer. Her death deeply affected Brosnan, who described the sorrow of watching someone you love be taken by such an insidious disease. Despite eventually remarrying in 2001, Brosnan has remained an unwavering advocate for ovarian cancer awareness, channeling his grief into raising awareness and supporting medical advancements. The tragedy struck again in 2013 when Charlotte, Harris's daughter and Brosnan's stepdaughter, also succumbed to ovarian cancer. These losses have left an indelible mark on Brosnan's life, shaping his advocacy work and underscoring his enduring bond with Harris and their family. Clark Gable and Carole Lombard were Hollywood's ultimate golden couple, blending glamour, charm, and undeniable chemistry. Lombard, a witty blonde bombshell, and Gable, the quintessential leading man, epitomized the allure of pre-World War II Hollywood. Their 3-year marriage was marked by mutual adoration and a shared zest for life, often described as the epitome of Hollywood perfection. Together, they embodied the idealized romance of a bygone era. Tragically, their story was cut short in 1942, when Lombard, her mother, and Gable's press agent were killed in a plane crash while Lombard was returning from a war bond tour. The loss devastated Gable, driving him to enlist in the Army Air Forces as a pilot, a decision many saw as a way to honor her sacrifice and cope with his grief. Though he returned to filmmaking after the war, friends noted that he was never quite the same, carrying the weight of her loss for the rest of his life. Carole Lombard was often described as the love of Gable's life, a presence he could never replace. Her death left a void that no other relationship could fill. Their love story remains one of Hollywood's most poignant, a bittersweet reminder of the fleeting yet profound connections that define a lifetime. Patrick Swayze and Lisa Nemi shared a love story that was as enduring as it was inspiring. Swayze, one of Hollywood's most charming leading men of the 80s and 90s, was a heartthrob to millions, but only Nemi had his heart. The two met as aspiring dancers and married in 1975, beginning a partnership that lasted until Swayze's heartbreaking death from pancreatic cancer in 2009. Their bond was unwavering, with Swayze often crediting Nemi for being his rock during the most challenging moments of his life. Throughout Swayze's illness, Nemi was by his side, taking charge of his care with remarkable dedication. She meticulously managed his medical needs, prepared specialized meals to maintain his strength, and, as a licensed pilot, even flew him to cancer treatments. Their devotion to each other remained unshakable, reflecting a partnership built on love, resilience, and mutual support. Though Nemi has since remarried, she has spoken openly about how her love for Swayze endures. "Just because somebody's gone doesn't mean you fall out of love," she once said, a sentiment that perfectly encapsulates their lasting connection. Lea Michele and Cory Monteith